Moldova just held a pivotal parliamentary election, a choice between deepening ties with the European Union or returning to Russia's orbit. The stakes were high. The outcome would shape Moldova's economy, security, and identity for years. The Pro-European Action and Solidarity (PAS) party, led by President Maia Sandu, won a clear majority, over 50% of the vote and enough seats to govern alone. This victory is a strong mandate for Moldova's pro-Western course. It follows Sandu's re-election and a national referendum backing EU membership, marking the third major pro-European win in a year. As PS candidate Radu Marian put it, Moldova 3, Putin 0. The main contest was between PS, promising reform and EU integration, and the pro-Russian Patriotic Electoral Bloc, led by Igor Dodon. Other smaller parties, including a new right-wing populist group, also gained seats. But the results showed Moldovans decisively chose a European future. The country's direction is now set, firmly toward the West. This election was a clash of visions, Europe or Russia. PS campaigned on reform, anti-corruption, and EU integration, promising hope and prosperity through partnership with Europe. President Sandu argued Moldova belongs in the European family, where democracy and opportunity thrive. In contrast, Dodon's bloc pushed for renewed ties with Moscow, promising cheap energy and stability, appealing to those wary of change. For voters, the choice was stark: embrace a modern democratic future with Europe, or return to the familiar but uncertain embrace of Russia. The election became a referendum on Moldova's identity and direction. Moldovans chose to look west. Moldova's election was also a frontline in the wider Russia-Europe struggle. The Kremlin tried to sway the outcome with disinformation, financial meddling, and attempts to destabilize the country. Authorities uncovered a massive vote-buying scheme linked to fugitive oligarch Ilan Shor, seizing millions in cash and propaganda materials. There were even arrests of individuals allegedly trained abroad to incite unrest before the vote. Social media was flooded with pro-Russian disinformation, much of it traced to Dodon's bloc and anonymous accounts. Moldova's Electoral Commission banned several pro-Russian parties for illegal foreign financing just days before the vote. Despite these pressures, Moldovans rejected outside interference. The country's democracy held firm. The results were clear. Moldova chose Europe. PAS won in 3/4 of domestic constituencies, showing support for the European path is widespread, not just in the capital. The diaspora played a key role. 80% of Moldovans voting abroad backed PAS, reflecting a desire for the values and opportunities of the EU. PAS leader Igor Grosu called it a message. "We decide what happens here, not Russia." He acknowledged Moscow's pressure, money, lies, and illegal tactics, but Moldovans stood firm. President Sandu was blunt. "Russia is not our friend, it wants to buy our votes and our country." The pro-Russian camp, led by Dodon, was left reeling, their calls for protest fading as the scale of defeat became clear. The margin left no doubt. Moldovans were unmoved by Kremlin influence. The country's choice was decisive and proud. Moldova's voice for Europe rang out. With a clear mandate, Moldova is set to accelerate its path toward the European Union. The PS government now has the stability to push forward with reforms, strengthening democracy, fighting corruption, and aligning with EU standards. Challenges remain. Russia will keep trying to exert influence, and the unresolved issue of Transnistria still looms. International support, especially from the EU and US, will be crucial for Moldova's success. EU candidate status is already granted. Formal accession talks are next. This election was more than politics. It was an act of national self-determination. Moldova's people chose freedom, democracy, and a European future. Their message is clear: even small nations can shape their own destiny.